Brett James Cornelius, born on June 5, 1968 and died on September 18, 2025, was more than just a country singer, songwriter, and producer. He was a storyteller, a dreamer, and a man who devoted his heart to creating music that touched souls across generations. Based in Nashville, the beating heart of country music, Brett carved a place for himself not only as a performer, but as one of the most respected songwriters of his time. His name rests on nearly 500 recordings, proof of a creative fire that never dimmed until his untimely passing. His journey was not one of straight roads. It was filled with detours, moments of doubt, and bold leaps of faith. From chasing the dream of being a solo artist to ultimately becoming the lyrical voice behind some of country music's greatest hits, Brett's story is one of resilience, passion, and grace. But on September 18, 2025, tragedy struck when Brett's Cirrus SR-22T aircraft crashed near Macon County Airport in Franklin, North Carolina. The world of country music lost a luminary, and his family lost a husband and father whose love was as steadfast as his melodies. Alongside him, 2 passengers also lost their lives, leaving behind grief that words can barely carry. Brett had an estimated net worth of $15 million at the time of his death. Early life and the spark of music. Born in Columbia, Missouri, Brett grew up in a home that nurtured both discipline and dreams. His father, Dr. Sam Cornelius, was a dedicated physician, while his mother, Carolyn, provided the warmth and encouragement that anchored their family. Young Brett's life seemed to be charted for something stable and noble like medicine, but deep within him pulsed a rhythm and longing that only music could satisfy. After graduating from Christian Heritage Academy in Del City, Oklahoma, in 1986, Brett pursued higher education at Baylor University. While at Baylor, he pledged the Sigma Chi fraternity and completed his Bachelor of Science in 1991. For a while, it seemed his path would lead to the halls of medicine. He even entered medical school in the early 1990s. Yet, Brett's soul whispered a different story. That whisper became a roar he could no longer ignore. Music was his true calling, chasing the dream of singing. In 1995, Brett took the bold leap, stepping away from the security of medicine to chase the uncertain dream of becoming a recording artist. Signed under Career Records, a division of Arista Nashville, he released his self-titled debut album. It carried singles like Female Bonding, If I Could See Love, and Worth the Fall, which gave him his first taste of recognition. Among the tracks was Wake Up and Smell the Whiskey, later recorded by Dean Miller. This period showed his versatility and his heart for authentic storytelling. He also appeared on compilation albums, bringing heartfelt renditions of songs like What Child Is This? For Star of Wonder, A Country Christmas, 1996, and the hymn What a Friend We Have in Jesus for Peace in the Valley. These projects reflected Brett's ability to weave both joy and devotion into his music. However, the late 1990s were not easy. After Career Records merged with Arista Nashville, Brett, alongside Tammy Graham, was dropped. It was a crushing blow, but Brett was no stranger to picking himself up. His journey was far from over, finding his voice in songwriting. By 1998, Brett found himself at a low point. He had walked away from medical school once to pursue music, only to face rejection in Nashville. 9 months of waiting tables, singing at open mics, and struggling with uncertainty left him doubting his path. It was during this fragile season that fate introduced him to producer Mark Bright, who signed Brett as the first writer under his new company, Terracell Music. The money was modest and the future uncertain, but Brett promised to write with dedication, penning a song every 3 days. What began as a compromise soon blossomed into a revelation. Brett realized that while he might not be the voice on stage, he could be the pen behind the words that millions would sing. Within a year, Brett's gift exploded into brilliance. Songs he wrote began finding homes with major artists. Carrie Underwood's Jesus, Take the Wheel, became not just a chart topper, but an anthem of faith, winning Grammy Awards for Best Country Song and Best Female Country Vocal Performance. He also delivered timeless #1 hits like Jessica Andrews' Who I Am, Martina McBride Blessed, Kenny Chesney's When the Sun Goes Down, Rodney Atkins' It's America, and Jason Aldean's The Truth. Time and again, Brett's words gave artists the bridge between their hearts and their audiences. ASCAP twice honored him as Country Songwriter of the Year, in 2006 and 2010, a testament to his enduring influence. His songs weren't just melodies, they were lifelines of hope, love, and resilience. A gift that reached beyond country. Though his roots were firmly planted in country, Brett's talent stretched far beyond. Pop icons like Kelly Clarkson, the Backstreet Boys, Bon Jovi, and Paulina Rubio all recorded his works, showcasing his versatility as a songwriter. He even co-wrote I Love You This Big, the debut single for American Idol winner Scotty McCreery, proving that his pen could cross generations and genres with ease. But Brett wasn't only content with songwriting, he expanded his horizons into production. From Josh Grayson's We Weren't Crazy to Christy Lee Cook's Why Wait, from a re-release of Taylor Swift's debut to Jessica Simpson's Do You Know and Kip Moore's Up All Night, Brett had a hand in shaping records that defined an era. His ear for detail and heart for music allowed him to nurture voices while leaving his unmistakable signature on their work. The resilient spirit behind the success. Brett's journey was marked by both valleys and mountaintops. There was the heartbreak of being dropped by labels, the struggle of juggling dreams and reality, and the crushing doubts about whether he belonged in the world of music. But his resilience never failed him. Each setback became a stepping stone to something greater. He once reflected on the moment he gave up the dream of being a big star and instead focused on writing cool music. That creative shift didn't close doors, it opened them wide. In truth, Brett's willingness to let go of one dream allowed him to embrace a destiny far brighter than he could have imagined. Love, family, and legacy. Behind the music, Brett's heart belonged to his family. He was a devoted husband to Sandra Cornelius and a loving father to their children. While the world knew him for his words and melodies, his family knew him as a man of warmth, humor, and unwavering love. To them, he was not just a songwriter, but a husband who held them close and a father whose pride in them was limitless. The love he poured into his songs was the same love he gave his family, steady, compassionate, and enduring. His legacy is not only etched in awards and chart-topping singles, but in the laughter and memories shared with those who knew him best. A sudden goodbye. September 18, 2025, brought a tragedy no one could have foreseen. Brett's life was cut short in a plane crash near Franklin, North Carolina. Alongside him, 2 others also perished, leaving behind a wave of sorrow that rippled through Nashville and beyond. For the music community, it was as if a beloved instrument had gone silent mid-song. For his family, it was a devastating loss that words can scarcely carry. Yet even in his absence, Brett's music continues to sing. Every time a fan hears Jesus, Take the Wheel, or Blessed, Brett's spirit lingers, reminding us that his voice was never confined to the stage. It lives on in the words he gave to the world. A legacy that lives forever. Brett James Cornelius' life was a tapestry woven with courage, perseverance, and an unshakable belief in the power of music. From the young man who left medical school chasing a dream, to the artist who turned heartbreak into harmony, his journey reflects the beauty of following one's calling despite uncertainty. His songs will continue to echo across generations, offering comfort, joy, and inspiration. And though his time was cut short, Brett leaves behind a body of work that ensures he will never be forgotten. He gave the world more than melodies. He gave pieces of his heart, wrapped in words that continue to heal, uplift, and inspire. In the end, Brett James Cornelius' life reminds us of the power of music to outlive tragedy. His story is one of a dreamer who never gave up, of a man who loved deeply, and of an artist whose legacy is etched forever in song. Rest in power, Brett James Cornelius.